Hello and welcome. I'm a hotel AI expert from Europe Hotel School. In the world of hospitality, strategic partnerships are everywhere. They promise all sorts of things: growth, new markets, better guest experiences. But how do you really know if they're working? In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how you can measure the true success of your collaborations. This quote really hits the nail on the head. We've all seen it, right? Those partnerships announced with a big press release that just kind of fizzle out. They look great on paper, but they don't deliver any real impact. Today, we're giving you the framework to make sure your partnerships drive real, measurable results. So, here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll talk about why measurement is so critical. Then, we'll get into how to track the tangible numbers and that crucial intangible value. We'll see how to combine them into a true ROI calculation. And finally, we'll wrap up with the review process for making this a consistent part of your strategy. So let's start with the big question. Why is this so imperative? Well, it's because measurement drives accountability. It's what transforms a partnership from a simple handshake deal into a dynamic relationship where both sides are totally aligned on the goals and committed to delivering real, demonstrable value. Okay, first things first, we've got to look at the numbers. This is what we call our quantitative foundation. It's the hard data that gives us an objective look at performance and shows us the direct impact a partnership is having on the bottom line. When we talk about tangible results, we're asking some pretty specific questions. Is this partnership directly driving revenue growth? Is it actually increasing our booking volume? Is it helping us break into new markets? And this is a big one, is it creating real cost savings? These are the clear, black and white proof points we absolutely need to be tracking. But here's the thing. The numbers, they only tell you what happened. For example, maybe bookings went up 10%. The qualitative side of things, that tells you why it happened. And that's what helps you predict what's going to happen next. So you see, the hard data is really just the tip of the iceberg. The real strategic insight lies just below the surface. And that leads us perfectly into this deeper, more nuanced layer of evaluation, the intangible value. Honestly, you can think of these as the leading indicators. They're the measures of a partnership's overall health that often predict its long-term success or its failure. So, now we have to ask some different questions. Is the relationship itself strong and collaborative? How is this partnership impacting the way people perceive our brand? Is it truly making the guest experience better? And hey, is our partner even satisfied? These foundational elements are what make a collaboration sustainable for the long haul. And here's a core principle we really emphasize. Today's relationship quality directly predicts tomorrow's financial performance. It's true. Strong communication and brand alignment are powerful indicators of future revenue growth. If you ignore these qualitative aspects, you're basically flying blind. All right, now let's talk about how to bring it all together. Calculating the true return on investment, the ROI, it requires a holistic view that combines both those hard numbers and the softer, intangible benefits. Let's be really clear about this definition. ROI isn't just about revenue minus cost. Not at all. For a strategic partnership, it's an evaluation of all the benefits, direct and indirect, weighed against all the costs, and that includes things like your team's time and resources. You see, to get the full picture of ROI, we have to look way beyond just the revenue. We also need to account for the value of brand exposure, access to new innovations, the knowledge our team gains from working with a partner, and any operational efficiencies. The true return is really the sum of all these parts. And here is a super crucial piece of advice. You can't measure success if you never actually defined it in the first place. The metrics for ROI have to be discussed, agreed upon, and written down right from the very beginning. This alignment, it's fundamental. Okay, so how do we make all of this a habit? Well, the final piece of this puzzle is building a consistent review process. This is all about moving away from occasional check-ins and creating a structured system that makes measurement part of the partnership's DNA. An effective review isn't some gotcha meeting. It's what we call a virtuous cycle. When you have regular, transparent reviews, you can solve problems together. And that builds trust and accountability, which then fuels continuous improvement, making the entire partnership stronger and stronger over time. And this, right here, this is the ultimate goal. When you measure effectively, a partnership stops being just an informal relationship, and it becomes a managed, strategic asset, something you actively cultivate to achieve your hotel's most important goals. And that brings us to the ultimate why. Why do we do all of this? Because disciplined evaluation gives you the clarity to make smarter decisions. It tells you where to invest more resources, which relationships to really grow, and maybe which ones it might be time to move on from. That is the very foundation of strategic leadership. So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. I want you to look at your own collaborations through this U lens. Which ones are truly strategic assets, driving you forward? And which ones, well, which ones are just waiting for you to unlock their full potential?